Noble Midstream. This is it's a midstream company, so they do oil storage, processing, and piping. And I thought it would be cool to take a look at oil storage companies. So, Noble Midstream, I just looked at their balance sheet and it is kind of scary. It was 12 million cash, 12.7 million cash on hand, and it was 127 million current liabilities. So that's like 10 to 1 cash to current liabilities ratio is awful. It's really, really bad. But this stock chart is pretty interesting. So where are we? Let's check this thing out. This is Brian Lewis with MMT Investing, and things just changed. So what we got is the ABC corrective wave down on the S&P here, and then we got the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave up on the bull trap, and we're getting a turnover and a switch in all the volatility and all that sort of stuff here. And this turned over right with it. And this, if you ignore the insane crash, and they shut down like 75% of their distribution in March. And so their stock has crashed, oil prices are down, and this looks pretty bad, but it looks pretty similar to the Occidental chart where they hit a bottom here. They didn't bounce in this beginning of this bull trap, and then at the end they swung up. And this is something that we're seeing in the product tanker companies and in some of these onshore oil companies. And this is a U.S. midstream company. And this isn't no joke. I mean, it looks like they're just crashed and awful, but they just jumped from under 4 to above 8. So more than 2x jump just on this little part here. And so, well, any company with a scary bad balance sheet coming into another wave down of a monetary contraction is really scary. So the timing on this one, I don't know if I would be brave enough to get into this thing at all, even during the up moves in this contraction, just because their balance sheet is so scary. If they get out here into June in this reversal area, and then they have their oil storage, and then if they can get their processing and logistics stuff moving, yeah, possibly this is a company to look at in June. And it may get these jumps here, kind of like the product tankers, like Scorpio Tankers had this kind of late move, or Zakos, or like PXS kind of had these late moves up. And this is kind of a good look going into the end of this credit contraction cycle here. And yeah, pretty 2, 4. Yeah, so it doubled. This jump is actually bigger than it looks because it went from 3 to almost 6. It almost went 2x actually on this jump, and then it went more than 2x on this jump. So these are pretty big moves from where it was, although it looks tiny compared to the beginning of the cycle where it just crashed down. But this is the zone where these things are trading now, and so kind of have to accept that oil crashed and look at the charts more like this, and look at this contraction cycle coming up and where there might be some up moves, and how big is the risk here with the balance sheet and the credit contraction, because that's a risk of bankruptcy and needing a bailout and that sort of stuff. So I think the risk here is really high, but it looks like the upside on the up moves in this cycle are pretty good. And if it makes it out of this whole cycle okay, this will be something to look at in about a month or so. So that is Noble Midstream. That always smashes the like button right now to help me out with the YouTube algorithm. And this is not investment advice. Happy trading.